let's get into it, shall we? Talking about all things fantasy football. Greetings and salutations, everyone. My name is Andrew Kiorkof, and welcome to our Thursday live stream for August 15th, 2024. For the next couple hours, I'll be talking all things fantasy football. Hope you guys are doing well. I, of course, already see many of you in the live chat, so I thought, even though this was scheduled to begin at 6 p.m., why not start an hour earlier? Try to answer as many questions as possible and help you guys out as you approach your 2024 fantasy football drafts. Of course, if you guys have a question in regards to a specific player, whether you're drafting a specific strategy, whatever the heck you type in the chat, if it's fantasy football related, please include your scoring format, regardless of what it is, because it really does help in terms of giving you an understanding. Like I already see Boss in the chat was asking like top 6 quarterbacks for 6 point per passing touchdown league. Like that makes a huge difference in comparison to just me regurgitating my original rankings for a 4 point per passing touchdown league. Either way, welcome. I see very many, just a lot of familiar names in the chat already. I kind of want to test something here. So let me test something here, shall we? I want to mess around with this YouTube chat more. Yeah, okay, so good. All right, so this is what I'll probably do to like mess around with this. I think what I'll actually do, now that I'm looking at how it's, yeah, maybe I'll do something like this where I just bring it up on the screen far more. And then I can figure it out. But look, that's the problem. It gets cut off so fast. So maybe we'll like cut it from there just because I want to answer James's question really quickly. So James, I don't know if you're here. I did respond back in the chat, as you can see. If you want to take a running back at the 1.03 this season, it probably should be Breece Hall. And I know somebody else had asked later on in this chat, where the heck was it? I saw it. Yeah, pretty much here from Skills saying, what are the chances or the thoughts of Breece Hall potentially outperforming a Christian McCaffrey this year? I had a video the other day where I was talking about the best picks of each round, and I really do love the idea of picking Breece Hall in the first round. And if there's anybody that's capable of outproducing Christian McCaffrey and dethroning him as the reigning, defending #1 overall running back in fantasy football, it is Breece Hall by far and away. It's not even close in comparison to the alternative options at running back. Now, of course, we still have other running backs like Jonathan Taylor, who was finished as the #1 running back before, but that was in a completely different offense, in a different scenario, different coaching staff back in 2021. But let's see here. Full PPR, feeling Evans or Nico Collins. Look, okay. In a full PPR, honestly, I probably still take Evans there. Yeah, I'm pretty confident with Evans in that scenario. Godwin or Christian Kirk at the flex. I think regardless of scoring format, I prefer Christian Kirk. The only thing that is an issue with Christian Kirk that is very reminiscent of last year is the fact that, unfortunately, on 12 personnel sets, 2 tight end sets, he's not on the field. And that was the case last season until Zay Jones got injured, and then we saw more Christian Kirk. So if that's going to be a retaining kind of scenario here where Brian Thomas Jr., Gabe Davis are the guys in the 12 personnel sets, Christian Kirk's value may diminish. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Okay, so Boss, I want to answer this question really quickly because I know many of you probably have this question in mind, but I specifically want to go and open up my rankings so that I can just regurgitate it. Okay, so top 6 rankings at quarterback in a 6 point per passing touchdown league. My #1 is Josh Allen. #2 is Patrick Mahomes. 3 is Jalen Hurts. That's where tier 1 ends. Then we move into tier 2, where we have Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Richardson, Stroud. That's my top 7, and the second tier ends with Stroud there. Okay, just so we're all on the same page. Hope you guys are doing well. Let's see, where are we at? I gotta figure out how we're doing this. Okay, so slowly but surely, I'm gonna go ahead and just scroll down the live chat, answering his question, as many questions as I possibly can, as quickly as I can. If you guys want, I guess, to get your question answered immediately, you can send in a super chat, or you can just hang out, wait, answer each other's questions within the live chat. Additionally, we'll go ahead and draft some teams with you guys if you're interested via Underdog Fantasy later today during the stream. Again, if you guys want to sign up via Underdog Fantasy, get my rankings, get my draft guide, get the rankings over the course of the entire season, all that jazz. Again, the information is down in the description or on the left side panel that you can see via the stream. Thank you. Okay, and by the way, if something pops up in this live chat to the right of me that I deem to be bannable, I will insta-ban you. I have no remorse on the ban. I love doing it. Don't give me the chance to do it because it makes my day. Hey, Andrew, missed you, bro. Let's get the chip this year. Absolutely, Raymond. Nice to see you, man. does targeting 2 top running backs make sense in a full PPR 10-team league? With 1 flex, single quarterback league, 2 running backs. Okay, look, here's the thing. I think every strategy can work depending on the value at which you are getting your running backs at. Specifically in a full PPR, we typically don't want to heavily invest in running back early to the point to where it could be a detriment to our team. We want to also have some balance at wide receiver. But if you are taking 2 running backs within the first 2 picks and they're in like that top 6 running back range, I'm talking about guys between Christian McCaffrey, Breece Hall, Bijan, Taylor, Gibbs, Saquon. Like, I'm not mad at that overall investment, even Kyron Williams. But considering the full PPR nature of it, I personally would like to go and get more of a balanced set of running back and wide receiver in my first 2 picks. But again, if let's say, for example, in the first round you take Breece Hall, and in the second round, somehow, some way, because of the I guess the fear that people may have with Jahmyr Gibbs, he falls to you in the second. At that point, I'd be willing to to grab 2 running backs of that caliber. But typically, I'd like to diversify a little bit more. But again, any strategy can work. Who should I draft second overall in a super flex league? Whichever the 2 best quarterbacks are available. So if you're playing in a super flex league that's a 4-point per passing touchdown league, I would suggest the first 2 picks of that draft be Josh Allen, then Jalen Hurts. If you're playing in a 6-point per passing touchdown league, it should be Josh Allen number 1 again, but the second pick can either be Mahomes or Hurts, depending on how you feel on the scenario. I'd probably go Mahomes in a 6-point in that scenario. What's up? What's a better stack, says Raymond? Indy or Arizona? Okay, so here's the thing. The stack of Indy, Arizona, depending on how you want to approach it, I'm assuming the stack that you're referring to is quarterback / wide receiver. So Kyler, Marvin Harrison, or Michael Pittman Jr. and Anthony Richardson. I think the overall investment of Michael Pittman Jr. / Anthony Richardson is far less based on the draft capital that you'll need to utilize in order to get those players, right? So in comparison, you'd have to use an early 2nd round pick to get Marvin Harrison Jr. And then typically the ADPs of Anthony Richardson has been very similar to Kyler Murray, even though he is ahead of him. But I'd like to take the discount at that wide receiver. So I'd probably go with the Indianapolis Colts stack there this updated pretty quickly. I'd probably go with the Indy stack there. Okay, so where does it cut off here? I'm trying to figure out, is that the bottom? Yeah, it is the bottom. So I probably need to go back up here just so that we're all on the same page. So where is the Indy stack question? It was right here. Okay, so we're good. That's not what I wanted to do. All right, keeping it moving. What's up, John? How you doing? Victory says, are weekly emails sent out to Patreon members? So every time I make a new post on Patreon, yes, you will get an email notification. So probably, what is it? Today's Thursday. Tomorrow morning, when I update my rankings for the entire spectrum, quarterback to defense, flex, all of it. Once I post the new Excel spreadsheet that includes all of the updated rankings, you will get a notification, assuming you're within the grandfather tier, which again retired like 3 years ago, or the current primary tier, which is the 2024 fantasy football champion tier. Thank you for the question, Victory. Hopefully that clarifies more. Yusuf, what's up, man? Says, I have the 8th pick in an 8-man league. Got Breece already. Do I go AJ Brown or Saquon in the second? Jeez Louise. Okay, so if you have Breece Hall, theoretically, maybe he's your keeper. Do you go AJ Brown or Saquon Barkley in a half PPR 8-team league? Considering the 8-team nature, I think you can find success in either of the 2 avenues. I think it really depends on what the league is constructed of. Like, can you start 3 wide receivers? Or are there 3 starting wide receiver spots? Are there multiple flex spots? It's like these are, I think, determining factors as to how you would like to build it. Me personally, in a half PPR, let me see. Where do I have Saquon ranked accordingly? Let's go find it. Boom, boom, boom. Saquon. I have him ahead of AJ Brown in a half PPR. In a full PPR, it'd be different. But yeah, I'd probably go Saquon there. But again, that's only because you're sitting in an 8-team league to where you're not going to be punished so heavily in the absence of taking, well, you can just go both of them. Just take them both. Forget it. Just take them both. Go take both guys. Both Eagles. That's fine. And then maybe in the 3rd / 4th round, you go Hurts and you Omega stack. I don't know. That works for me. Let's see here. Where's the other gray shirt at? The other gray shirt is retired. Also, based on the new lighting system that I have here, if I wear that gray shirt, unfortunately, you can very clearly see the green screen reflection because, I don't know, the material, the Nike shirt that I used to wear. By the way, that Nike shirt I have like 14 of them in my closet, okay? It's not just like I wore one shirt every single day. Like if you see me duplicate a shirt, I have more than one of them within my my arsenal, okay, guys? Just so we're on the same page. What's up, Chaos? How you doing, my man? Nice to see you. Brandon Campbell says, I have the 10th pick in a 12-man snake PPR league. Would you go wide receiver with the first two picks? Be a bad decision. Would that be a bad decision? I don't think so. I think I'm fine with it. It just depends on who you're getting. You know what I don't like? That back end of the first, early second turn, you're sitting with Puka Nacua, Marvin Harrison Jr. Those are your two guys. So if you can live with those guys being your leaders of your team and having to carry the team on your back, then I don't have a problem with it at all. As long as it's a PPR format. If it's a half PPR, I'm far less inclined to take a strategy as such. What does it say? What's up, Andrew? Rocking with you for the last 3 years. Thank you very much. Appreciate it, my man. Ray, what's up? Donald says, 10-team league. I always pick 2 wide receivers in the first. 2 wide receivers first, then 2 running backs. That's fine. Again, as it currently stands, the fervor that revolves around the wide receiver position and the fact that people are so, I guess, locked in on getting their early wide receivers and then it's subsequently pushing down running backs down the board. When you're able to get like I'm trying to think, if you can get like Pacheco in the 4th, late 3rd, early 4th, like I'm happy with that. Like that can be my RB1. I don't have an issue with that in any sort of scenario. I don't like the final. I think someone asked me this either in the comment section or the last time we did a live stream. The final running back that I'm comfortable being my RB1, okay, is James Cook. Okay, he's like my 15th ranked running back. So like I'm willing to take. There's a huge gap of like 4 to 5 rounds of running backs that I'm willing to be like that's my number 1, and then I'll just build the rest of the team around that. Because I've already grabbed wide receiver, tight end, etc. in the earlier selections there. Did someone say Zach Moss or Chase Brown? Oh, man. You know, it's interesting. The fact that Chase Brown's being selected ahead of him now makes me a little bit indifferent on this. I think I'd like the Zach Moss dip to go a little bit more in terms of his ADP to drop more to where I can make the investment of him and not be so worried. Like where Chase Brown is being selected right now, I think he's like RB28 on Underdog. Like he needs to legitimately take over the job and do it quickly. It can't be a couple weeks of dilly-dallying and him eventually getting the spot after like a week 8 bye week or something of that nature or an injury of that extent. Like that's the concern there. As of right now, I don't mind getting a piece of it, but I'm sure I can find better value in those later rounds than one of those 2 guys. Like, I honestly probably just rather have Austin Eckler, especially if we're playing in a full PPR. Christian Ramos says, Andrew, I'm the 9th pick in a 12-man half PPR league. Okay. Pick 9, AJ Brown or Jonathan Taylor. In a half PPR league, let me check my rankings. I currently have Jonathan Taylor ahead of AJ Brown. Yep. That's the way that I would go about it. Thank you for your question. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and try to rapid fire the next couple questions here just so I can, just try to get to the updated questions so we're all on the same page. Okay, here we go. Let's see here. Best draft position in the 12-team standard league. 1.03 to 1.07. I like that range. What's the best draft? Okay, we did that, Zach. Okay. What up, Drew? Won last year. Want to go back to back. That's right, Rick. We're going to try to. Moss or Mostert? I'll take Mostert. Hit the like button. Yeah, that'd be greatly appreciated. Guys, if you haven't yet already, click the like button down below. It absolutely continues to help promote the channel, promote everything so that I can continue to make daily content. I appreciate it. I had a question, and I'm actually curious what you guys think. Okay, so I don't live stream often. You guys are aware of this, right? I will live stream during the season, somewhere between 2 to 3 times a week maximum, okay? If I theoretically, put up the bounty of if we get to 100K subscribers, I'd live stream every day for the rest of the season. Is that a good enough exchange per se. Do you think that is a motivating enough tactic to get us some more subs here? Is that a possibility to get to 100K? Let me know what you guys think. If not, then so be it. I might offer it anyway, but still, I'm just curious. Do you play Dynasty? Yeah, I have one league, literally one Dynasty league. That's it. I've been in that league for a while now. What is the best draft position in 12th? Okay, we did take care of that. Drake made rushing touchdown. I mean, Jacoby Brissett threw a pick. Jacoby's slowly but surely working his way out of the job. Who's your first round pick? Any spot? First round pick, any spot? McCaffrey. If not McCaffrey, I mean, CeeDee Lamb, right? I think that's the whole point of the rankings, right? Like you got to have to. Oh, okay. We had a couple of super chats sent in. Let's go ahead and answer those really quickly. Okay, let me check out some of these super chats. Okay, so we had a question that came in from Hugh. Hugh, thank you very much. Appreciate it. It says, any chance you're adding auction values to your amazing 2024 draft guide? Ooh, okay, here's the thing. I could do it, but let me tell you objectively. I have not played an auction league since 2013 or 14. I haven't played an auction league in over a decade. So if you're looking for my auction values, I don't think, I'll objectively tell you, they're probably not as good as somebody else that's in this industry that makes auction content in comparison. So I could make it. I just don't know if it'll be as good as it needs to be. So that'd be my only concern in that scenario. We had another super chat that was in here. Let me go find it. That was John. Okay. This is the live chat. Okay, is that Connor? Is Connor the next one? Let me scroll back up. I think it might be Connor. Connor, what's up, my man? Thank you for the super chat. It says, in the last 10 years, wide receiver 1 on the bottom 5 offense has a 16% chance to become a top 24 wide receiver. Wide receiver 1 on the top 5 offense has a 24% chance to be a top 3. Thoughts? Okay, so here's my question, because you said a lot of things there, but you need to define them. So what is a top 5 offense? Okay, are we designating a top 5 offense by total points per game scored? Are we designating a top 5 offense by total yardage accumulated? Are we designating an offense by offensive touchdowns? Because if you go by points per game, that also includes field goals, that also includes defensive touchdowns, safeties, etc. So I think defining to the greatest degree as to what a bottom 5 or what qualifies someone as a bottom 5 or top 5 offense will give a little bit more clarity on the matter. But yeah, I don't know. I could definitely look into this, but yeah, it just depends on how you define that. Okay, let's see here. Where are we at? Let's go ahead and let's scroll up a bit. Is this chat even up to date? Yeah, it's live chat. Let me check this other one. The bottom is okay. So Connor had a statement. There we go. Let's see what Connor had to say. So Connor says, top 5 offense is based on Vegas projections. What? Wait, currently top 5 offense based on Vegas. Oh, so it's all just okay. So okay, hold on, wait. So it has nothing to do with the prior season. So you're designating top 5 offenses based on Vegas projection of what? Of win total? Again, unless there's a pure definition of what designates a top 5 offense, this becomes very muddy waters, because again, this 24% to 16%. Look, here's the thing. The way at least the way that I do it in my draft guide, like if you want to find wide receiver 1 talent, the wide receivers need to be associated with offenses specifically that throw the ball an F ton. Not only that, they have quarterbacks that are gathering a vast majority of yardage through the air. Like, you're not going to find top 12 upside in offenses that are like Atlanta last year, or what's it called? Goodness gracious. I mean, Pittsburgh last year just didn't throw the ball. Like, you're not going to find studs at top 12 capacity in within there. Now you're gonna find the outliers every now and then, but yeah, I think it just depends on how you define everything. Okay, let me scroll up here. I think we had a, what does this say? Will you drop a half PPR flex ranking, says Justin. Justin, I will. Yes, absolutely. So that'll probably be in a video. What day is today? Thursday? Probably this time next week or next weekend. I'll probably drop a top 60 flex video, something of that nature. Yeah, for sure. I will. Live streaming every day for sure would be a fast way to grow. I mean, yeah, I mean that's always a possibility. Depends. The thing about live streaming every day is that my brain will go to will mush. That's the issue. That's why I ask. It's just a matter of am I willing to run my mental state into the ground, because that'll absolutely happen very quickly. Callie says full PPR, going with an anchor running back. Okay. In the later round, I have an option to take a 4th round wide receiver to bolster my wide receiver core. In that range, the options are Zay Flowers, Rashee Rice, and Pickens. Who do I choose? Ooh, in a full PPR, assuming Ayuk doesn't get traded to Pittsburgh, it's probably Pickens, then Rice second, then Flowers. If Ayuk ends up in Pittsburgh, I'll just take Rice there. Oh, and we updated to the bottom of the list. Okay, I wanted to make sure I didn't miss any super chats, so we took care of the 3. Perfect. Thank you, guys. I appreciate you guys sending those in, by the way. Okay, so let's get to the bottom of the chat here. Okay, yeah, so we got to Connor. Christian was saying, I have the 2nd pick in my draft in a full PPR league, assuming Christian McCaffrey is picked first. Very well. Would you do CeeDee Lamb or Hall? It's a full PPR. I'd probably go with CeeDee Lamb or Tyreek Hill over Hall. Yeah, that's the direction that I'm leaning. Excuse me. I believe that was a Malik Neighbors take. Is that the deal? Okay, very well. Last year's quote unquote who to pick every round video won me the championship. Waiver videos plus waiver videos. You sure about this one? Laughing emoji. What do you mean? I mean, look, last year's was pretty solid. From what I remember. Let me see here. So if I go to last year's best pick of each round, sure, there's some duds in there, but let's see. Last season's best pick of every round, right? So we had Kelsey in the first round, terrible, but then Henry, Josh Allen, Mixon, those are all great. Deontay Johnson, Tyler Lockett missed. Then we had Montgomery, Rashad White, Prescott, Njoku, all hit. Then we went back to the duds with Alan Lazard, Higbee, Jonathan Mingo, Zamir White. Zamir White doesn't really count. And then the final 2 picks were Jake Ferguson and Gus Edwards. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of the 16 rounds were proper. They were proper. I don't think there were bad suggestions. So if you don't like this year's one, hey, listen, brother, don't follow it. I have no problem with that. Listen, let us all be on the same page here. I can be wrong, and I will be wrong a lot. That's just how this works, right? Unfortunately, I can't see into the future. So if you think I'm going to be wrong on something, hey, don't think, oh, well, this guy's the North Star regardless of what it is. I have to follow it. No, you have... Listen, you guys watch football. You guys play fantasy football. You have your own strategy approach to everything. Just take this information, use it how you would like to. If it leads to success, fantastic. Love to see it. If it fails, I apologize, but understand that I did as much research as I possibly could, and I'm trying to help you win as much as possible. You know, like that is my through line goal every season. So we're all on the same page. Let's see here. Where is... All right. Hi, Andrew. Would you take Andrews and Kincaid and play Kincaid in the flex on the 4-5 turn? Only in a tight end premium. I don't think I'd ever do that in a regular league. If you have the utmost confidence at which Kincaid is going to be a top 4 tight end, he will legitimately finish in that range, then I would say, okay, that's fine. But if he's not, I think that's a little bit too early on the draft capital that you'd be utilizing on him, technically. There was a question right before it. What does this one say? What do you rank 1 through 3 in a full PPR? James Cook, Kamara, and Mixon. Kamara 1, Cook 2, Mixon 3. Yo, Andrew, do you think it's a reach if I take Tank Dell over Nico Collins and Stephon Diggs? I feel way higher on him. I mean, listen, again, if you feel like he is going to produce at a significantly better rate than Nico Collins and Diggs, then I'd say go for it. Listen, you want to draft the players you want to draft, and you should take them. The only issue is, are you grabbing Tank Dell far ahead of his overall kind of average draft position? Are you overdrafting him? Because then it leaves you in a very vulnerable position if, in fact, he doesn't pan out. Now, I think he'll still play well regardless. But yeah, I think it just depends on where you're going to take him. I don't mind you taking him ahead of the other two. It's just, understand it could bite you in the ass, but it could also win you the league. These are the risks you kind of have to take. All right, let's see here. Will you be updating the draft guide since we have injuries? Yeah, the update will... Well, okay, so the draft guide itself, the rankings at the back side of it, they update via the Excel sheet I send out. So the backside rankings will stay like that. The draft guide will be, regardless of when you sign up using code Andrew, or whenever you sign up for the Underdog, get the Underdog deal, or if you do the Patreon deal, regardless of which one, the rankings in the backside of the draft guide are going to be the same. You want to find the email that I send you with updated rankings that'll kind of lead you going forward, just so we're on the same page. Can we see a mock draft while you read these? We could, but the issue is, as soon as I start the mock draft, the rate at which I answer questions would get significantly slower. So probably just want to answer a couple more, and then we'll kind of transition into the drafting. Bryant says, appreciate the content. 101, 12-man full PPR league. Who are your favorite targets at the 2-3 turn? Thank you. 12-man league 2-3 turn, assuming you have the number 1 overall pick. If you're starting McCaffrey, let's see here. So under the assumption, close this tab. Let's do this. Under the assumption, is this a full PPR league again? I got to check. Yeah, PPR. Okay, so let me change my rankings. So under the assumption 23 players are gone. Like, if you can get, geez Louise. I would assume like Chris Olave is a pretty solid pick at that 2-3 turn. I'd also, if somehow, some way Travis Etienne wants to fall to you, I think that's also not a bad snag. I wouldn't mind Laporta there on that turn. I wouldn't mind other running backs within that range. Full PPR kind of status guys like Pacheco or Rashad White. Outside of Olave, it's probably, assuming Mike Evans is gone, someone of the caliber of Devontae Smith or Waddle. Okay, let's go ahead. Let's leave that. Let's bring this back up. Okay, let's scroll down a little bit here. Let me get... Okay, so we just had a super chat sent in. Bay Raven, thank you very much. Says, who would you take at the 1.03 in an 8-team full PPR league? Chase, Hall, and Amon-Ra St. Brown. Or Amon-Ra St. Brown, excuse me. I hate the second wave of wide receivers in the second round, but I also don't fade... Brees. 1.03 in an 8-team league. Here's the thing about the 8-team league. Regardless of what you do, you're going to finish with an all-star team. If it's me at 1.03, I mean, under the assumption that McCaffrey, Lamb, and Hill are all gone, which I don't know how that would work. Maybe this is a keeper league. I suppose, I mean, if you want to take Brees Hall, you can. I have Chase and Amon-Ra St. Brown ranked higher than him in a full PPR. So that's kind of the direction that I would go in that scenario. I'd probably take Chase or Amon-Ra St. Brown before I take Hall. If you love the idea of going Hall early, that's fine. You're just going to have to take a wide receiver in that second. Or maybe you just double up on running backs because it is an 8-team league and you're not going to be punished too hard. Yeah, you can go either of the two ways. But yeah, if it's me, I'd probably just go Chase, Amon-Ra, Hall in that order. Thanks. Appreciate it, Bay Raven. Thank you. Superflex question. Here we go. Actually, let's just start from the top here so I don't ignore anybody else. Emmanuel says, I have a keeper. Okay. In a keeper, I have Christian McCaffrey, Hill, and Achane. Very well. My first pick is between Cup, Cook, and White. Full PPR. You already have Hill and Christian McCaffrey and Achane, so you really don't need the running back depth per se. So I don't mind the Cup grab there. Assuming you, yeah, I don't mind the Cup grab. I just don't think I have Cup ranked higher than Rachaad White in this scenario. Full PPR. Let me check this. Full PPR. Where is Cup? Now, look, here's the thing. I haven't even finished my wide receiver rankings for tomorrow. So for now, I'd say, yeah, I don't mind the Cup grab. But if you want to play it safe and you don't want to invest in a 30-plus-year-old wide receiver, Rachaad White's the next best in that scenario. All right, moving on. We had a question here. Robert says, yo, Andrew, thoughts on Will Dissly, the Seattle tight end? From what I've been able to absorb from this offseason, training camp, all that kind of jazz, Hayden Hurst should be the number one. Will Dissly will be the number two. The primary thing that Will Dissly provides specifically is run blocking. He is an exceptional run blocking tight end. So that's what he's going to be primarily utilized as. Yes, he's going to run routes, but I don't think he is the number one receiving tight end of that team. Rather, that is Hayden Hurst. Let's see here. Alex Ruiz says, Andrew, in a super flex league, 14-man. Okay, that's already bad. Super flex 14-man is tough because that means that only 4 teams get a third quarterback. So you guys better be playing with Fab. Anyway, can only roster max 2 quarterbacks. Okay, never mind. Everything, okay. Answer the question. When would you suggest taking my second quarterback? Looking to grab quarterback in the first round. At this moment, yeah, for sure, you should grab a quarterback in the first, especially if you have a top 6 selection. Additionally, that second quarterback should be on your team by at least the 4th round. I think the latest 5th, but even then, I think you're risking it. So I think if you're going to go for a round 1 quarterback, you also go for a round 4 quarterback. Thank you. 2K says, 1.08 keeper league, full PPR. I'm keeping DK and James Conner. I've got 4 picks in the first 2 rounds. Okay, so you've been cooking a little bit here this offseason, huh? Thoughts on Kyron, Debo, Moore, and Waddle, or Harrison, Debo, Moore, and McBride? Full PPR. You already have Conner. You already have DK. I would have a very difficult time not having an established RB1 like Kyron Williams on roster. If James Conner had to be my RB1 for the whole year, I think it would make me physically ill. So I'd probably just go with the Kyron, Debo, Moore, Waddle approach in this scenario. Thanks for the question. Coach, what's up, man? It says Superflex League. Throwing 5 touchdowns. Okay, so throwing touchdowns are 5 points, full PPR. 3 for first downs gained and bonus play. Okay, goodness gracious. All right, so we're playing a very interesting league here, Coach. I have the 3rd pick. Who would you choose between Hurts, Christian McCaffrey, and Tyreek Hill? Yeah, I would. Allen is going number 1. Yeah, I think regardless of who goes before you, you're taking a quarterback. So whether it is Mahomes or Jalen Hurts, doesn't matter. If it's me, I'd probably just take Jalen Hurts out of the 3 names that you've mentioned here. Thoughts on McBride this year? In a full PPR, he is my number 3 ranked tight end in a full PPR. He is ahead of Mark Andrews, only behind Laporta and Kelsey. So as of right now, I mean, I love it. That's the thing. Like, he's the number 2 of their offense. The offensive coordinator of the Arizona Cardinals is a former tight ends coach for the Cleveland Browns. We know how much the Cleveland Browns like to utilize their tight ends in prior seasons. He's already demonstrated by targeting his tight ends the most times amongst all teams last season in 2023 that he's going to continue to funnel target McBride. So in a full PPR, stud. Love to have it. Let's see here. Steve says, Andrew, just wanted to say I've been following for some time. It helped me win multiple championships over the years. Keep up the great work. Thank you, Steve. Glad I could help in any way. Jeffrey says, thoughts on stacking? Depends on what we're doing, right? Like, are we stacking? Okay, so here's the thing. Everything you guys say in terms of like the jargon that you utilize or the different statistics, like the one that Connor presented earlier, they're very much so dependent on what do you mean? Like when you say stacking, are you talking about are you talking about quarterback and wide receiver? Because I think there's also a conversation to be had on stacking Jonathan Taylor and Anthony Richardson. I also think there's a conversation to be had to stacking guys like Lamar Jackson and Mark Andrews, right? So I don't have a problem with stacking in any sort of scenario. I just only like to stack players who have a high likelihood of touchdowns. I want to take advantage of the touchdowns reoccurring on the same play on multiple occasions over the course of the season. That's it. So for the connectors, for receiver / tight end or whatever with their quarterback, that's fine. But there's also the running back quarterback conversation that can be had as well. Go ahead and smash the like button. Thank you, Emerald. Full PPR. Would you trade away Jackson Smith and Jigba, Jaden Reed, and Chase Brown for Nico Collins and Blake Corum? I have Kyron Williams. Oh, God. In a vacuum, I would say, wow. This is not an easy trade. Raymond, I got to think about that one. What if I don't have access to the Excel? What if you don't have access to this? If you've signed up via Underdog this season, so from August 1st to today, if you have signed up earlier today, you probably don't have the most updated email. But if you've signed up in the last 14 days, I have sent you an email that includes a Excel file. If you are part of the Patreon, you have to go to the Patreon right now. And as long as you're in the 2024 Fantasy Champion tier, which is the primary tier for the season, you can go and you can download that Excel file. So that's the way you would get it, Jim. Thanks. 2 quarterback PPR league. Keeping Burrow, Brees in round 3. Keeping Burrow and Brees in round 3 and 4. Beautiful. That's fantastic. Going wide receiver in round 1. Do I go Marvin Harrison, Waddle, or Kupp in round 2? I would go Marvin Harrison Jr. in round 2. Additionally, or Kelsey, or reach for another quarterback like Caleb and Tua. I would only reach for another quarterback like Caleb and Tua if this is a 6-point per passing touchdown format. If it is not, I think your best plan of action is to go for one of those, not even just one of those wide receivers. I just take Marvin Harrison Jr. very happily, in fact. Amari Cooper or Pickens. I still like Amari Cooper. I'm going to be honest. I still like Amari Cooper in that scenario. Montgomery's fire? Of course he is. Especially now that, listen, we're going to hope, we're going to pray that Jahmyr Gibbs is healthy. Like, really, I am hoping that Jahmyr Gibbs can be at 100% because what he will be capable of is going to be crazy. So let's just hope for it. It just gives you more of a reason to draft Montgomery, though. Just put it out there. Drew says, I don't follow sports, but won twice. I just trust. Okay, I get it, Drew. Thank you. That gives me confidence. What the heck happened here? Okay, there were some more super chats sent in. Let me go ahead and check those out really quickly on my other screen. Okay, let me get to some of these super chats. So we had Bay Raven, then we had Arbat. Arbat, where are you in this chat? Let me go ahead and use my Control F function. Arbat, where is your question in the chat? Arbat, if you could do me a favor, just type in the chat. It'd be greatly appreciated. It wasn't attached to your super chat. While we wait for you, the real Franklin sent in the super chat. Franklin, I always see you in the comment section on every video. Some of the stuff you say is definitely a little bit, take it easy in there. Take it easy. But let's see your question. It says, can you do a sleeper mock with fans this stream? Potentially. If I can set up the sleeper account and get that all done while I'm on stream, then maybe. But yeah, I will keep that in mind for sure. Maybe I can definitely get that set up for the next stream. But yeah, just putting it out there. I'm Gucci U Polo sent in a super chat. Thank you. Gucci says, hey man, 10 team PPR. I'm at the 1.01. I'm thinking of doing a hero running back start with Christian McCaffrey, then getting Waddle / Laporta in the 2-3 turn. Great. Thoughts on the start? And what quarterback should I... Okay, so I think that's a great start. McCaffrey, Waddle, Laporta in the first 3 picks, especially in a full PPR. I love it. It's great. If you were going to invest in a quarterback, it would be in that 3rd round pick, and you would probably take Josh Allen there because by the time it comes back to you, you won't have the availability of it. I don't have a problem skipping out on Josh Allen there. I'd probably wait until your 4th round selection / 5th, and then maybe you can invest quarterback there depending on what's available on the alternative positions. But like I wouldn't mind the idea of grabbing a potential player of the caliber of Anthony Richardson in the fifth there. That's something that's quite intriguing in my mind. Why is this thing like? Why is it? What is happening to this? Can I like update this? Maybe I go top chat, and then I go back to live chat. My live chat's like black screen. Okay, let's see. Who's the latest comment? Raymond. Okay, so that if I come back here, technically Raymond should be the. It's not. Interesting. I don't know why it's doing that. Look at this. Why did it? My whole chat just bricked. Like, what is this? I'm so confused. Okay, so what I'm gonna do actually is, okay, so let's do that, and then if I theoretically take this and I pop it out again, sorry for the technical issues, everyone. Just trying to. No, my chat's just broken. Okay, very well. Then we will go back to doing what we normally do, which is just answering questions without it on screen. I apologize, a little bit of a technical difficulty for that. For some reason, YouTube's kind of glitching out. It's not really my system. It's just YouTube chat. Anyway, we're looking for RBAT. Where's RBAT at? RBAT. Let's see. Control F. RBAT. Got your question. Says reposting. Andrew, love you for years, man. What's your thoughts on Gibbs' current ADP? Is he overvalued with David Montgomery sniping touchdowns, assuming Gibbs is healthy? I have no problem with his ADP as it currently stands under the assumption he's healthy. I've mentioned it a couple times in some of the videos. I don't know if you guys have caught it, depending on which videos you've watched this offseason from myself. But if we look at weeks, I think it's weeks 11 through 22. So as soon as the Detroit Lions return from their bye week, the sniping of touchdowns was, I mean, honestly, was pretty even. The red zone rushing attempt numbers for Jahmyr Gibbs versus David Montgomery last season was Jahmyr Gibbs had 36 rushing attempts in the red zone for 10 rushing touchdowns, and David Montgomery had 35 red zone rushing attempts for 8 rushing touchdowns. So they're both going to be able to coexist and both have themselves a lot of success. Obviously, there is the potential that they dig into each other's work, but the vast majority of the touchdowns should be going in the direction of Jahmyr Gibbs, primarily because of how they used them last year. I don't know if you guys were around the channel last year, around weeks 11 through 18. I mentioned on multiple different episodes that the way that they were running their backfield was the first drive would be David Montgomery, then the second drive would be so the first drive would be David Montgomery, unless it was third and long or a clear passing down scenario where they need to get a first down and they wanted to utilize a back with receiving upside or even motion him out to out wide. The second full drive of the game would be all Jahmyr Gibbs, regardless of anything. Then the third drive would be David Montgomery, and then I think it was like David Montgomery every 4 plays. Then they swapped to Jahmyr Gibbs, and then he would go until they wanted to swap him out. So like they have a certain approach that they like to utilize. I don't know if they're going to do it again, but if Jahmyr Gibbs is healthy, he's not going to leave the field. And I don't really worry about the quote unquote sniping of touchdowns because Gibbs is going to do it an equal amount of times, if not more, to Montgomery. Real Franklin says, LMAO. Sorry, Andrew. I stand on my bit. Okay, no problem, Franklin. Okay, let's see here. What's some of these new questions? What round are you drafting a quarterback? Depends on who's available. Like, this is the thing. If I'm playing in okay, you know what? Let's answer that question by just drafting a team right now. So I'm going to go ahead and let's go ahead and see if any of you guys want to draft alongside me via Underdog really quickly. Underdog. So I'm going to make a draft and I'm going to post the link here. It's going to be a 12-team league with a $3 buy-in. If you guys are interested, you can join right now. Let me go ahead and grab this link. Share the draft link. I'm going to paste it in the chat right now. Okay. The thing about drafting a quarterback, it's very much so dependent on what your team kind of looks like in terms of construction. Like if I've started triple wide receivers in the beginning and Josh Allen's still there in the fourth, and I have an opportunity of taking him or a running back, I'm probably going to take that running back because I know that, yes, Josh Allen's the best quarterback, but I really do have a lot of trust in some of these later quarterbacks that are coming off the board. Like, even though the top four are the top four, I really like Burrow, Richardson, Stroud, Love, Kyler, Jaden Daniels. Occasionally, I will invest in a Dak Prescott, but very seldom. But I mean, I really do like the discount that I can get at these alternative positions. I really do. Okay, so what we're going to go ahead and do really quickly is I'm going to switch screens so we can screen capture the draft board in just a moment. Again, drafting via Underdog Fantasy. I'm going to go ahead and pin the link that I just put in the chat. If you guys want to join, click that. Again, if you sign up, using code Andrew, making a first-time deposit minimum of $10, not only will you get the first-time deposit offer, you'll get my draft guide, you'll get my rankings, and of course, subsequent rankings for the remainder of the season. So if you're interested, check that out. Of course, we'll draft here. We have already 6 people totally filled in here, and we just need a couple more to this, for this to start. Let's see here. Mike Shan in the chat was saying the following. Mike says, in a 10-team full PPR auction league, 3 wide receivers /1 flex, or +1 flex, how should I allocate the percentage of my wide receiver position? Okay, so I was saying this earlier, Mike. I don't draft auction leagues. I haven't played in an auction league since 2013/2014. So I couldn't even give you I couldn't even broach the conversation because all I know about auction leagues is that you have a $200 maximum and that players that are top tier at their positions typically go for $50, right? So they go for like 25% of your total allocated potential spending money. So for your 3 wide receivers and 1 flex, under the assumption that you're getting top tier players at both running back and wide receiver, like at most, like let's say for example, you get a top tier running back and then a sub tier wide receiver, like you're out $80 there already. Like you're going to have to spend somewhere between 15 to 10% of your rested allocated stuff for your rest of your starters. So that's probably the number that I'd look at. But again, this is off of the top of my head. It's not really off of a completely calculated strategy because I don't play that format. I appreciate the question though, Mike. Okay. 2K says, thanks for answering the first question. How about this spin? Kyren, Debo, Moore, and Rashad White. I'm looking to take Kyler Murray / best quarterback in the 5th, hopefully. Then just looking for a guy like Jake Ferguson or Njoku. I like that. I don't have a problem with that at all. Not at all. That works for me there, 2K. Massimo says, how far are you willing to reach for Josh Jacobs? I've already moved him down my rankings. By tomorrow's rankings or the next time I post on YouTube, depending on how you guys get my rankings, he is near the back end of the RB1 conversation. It's slowly getting there for me. Aiming for him at the 2.10 pick in a 12-man, I feel him as a potential top 5 back. I don't disagree. If he plays like 2022 Josh Jacobs, then yes, he's a top 5 back. It's just a matter of can he stay healthy. That is the issue that I've had, right? The reason why I've moved him down my rankings more recently is every time I broach the conversation of Josh Jacobs, I find myself scripted within my videos or whatever saying, when he's healthy, he's this. When he's healthy, he's this. The issue is the guy is never really, he's always dealing with something. Now, don't get me wrong. Last season, didn't miss a game due to injury until the very end, and then it started to fall off a little bit there. That's the issue. If we're in a potential scenario, theoretically, at which he misses time, anything of that nature, I mean, it scares the crap out of me, guys. It does. Should I take Brees 3rd overall? I kind of feel like I should. There were so many questions today about taking Brees at 1.03 that I kind of think I want to do it. Vance Walker says, y'all hit the sub button. Thank you very much, Vance. I appreciate that. Casey D says, just tried to help you get to 100K. Good stuff. I appreciate it, Casey. Would you rather start Kyren / Olave? Sorry, Brees / Olave or Marvin Harrison Jr. or the alternative Chase / Kyren? I'd rather have Breece Hall. Depends what the scoring format if it is. If it's a half PPR, give me the Breece Hall Marvin Harrison Jr. combo. If it's a full PPR, I'll take the Chase Kyron combo. Thanks for the question, Casey. Adam W says PPR Nico Collins or HN as the 5th pick. Nico Collins or HN in a full PPR. I think I legitimately take HN there. I think I'm beginning to start to lose my mind on the HN situation to the point to where I think I'm going to start drafting him way earlier than I should. Why'd you do it? You son of a gun. Okay, dude. Just because I say I'm going to take him at 1.3, that's disgusting behavior. I'm going to find your name, your band. No, I'm just kidding, Ray. Goodness, Ray. Why have you done this to me? Yeah, we'll just take Lamb. That's fine. I don't have a problem with it. Goodness gracious. As soon as I want to take Breece Hall at 1.3, we're going to throw a wrench into the whole system. But that's drafting, ladies and gentlemen. It's all about the ability to adapt in these high stress scenarios, right? Yeah, high stress, whatever you want to call it. Let's see here. David Ramos, what's up, my man? The link isn't working? Yeah, probably because it filled out. Hopefully you'll be able to do it in the next draft. Okay, let's see here. Cannon sent in a question in the chat, says, should I trade Alvin for Connor and Malik? I have Jacobs and Mostert. Yeah, I would. I'd be willing to do that. I don't have a problem with that. Especially if you need the wide receiver depth, I have no issue with that. Salutations, Andrew. Thanks for all the help over the years. I have the 10th pick in a 10-team league. Best move. Depends on what your scoring format is. I'd say the general rule of thumb would be, I'd say the general rule of thumb is probably stability at the positions and getting a little bit of balance. So probably a running back and a receiver. If you're playing in like a standard league where it's 0 points per reception, double running back's fine by me. But I do think that if you start running back wide receiver on the turn, because it's a 10-man league, you're going to have a lot of potential for pretty good value on that 3-4 turn as well, to where you can address your second running back or your second wide receiver. 219 Pyro says, can you search my question, boss? Absolutely. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and click this. 219 Pyro says, okay. Should I trade Stevenson in a full PPR league? My running back, okay, so my RB1 is Kamara, but my wide receivers are Hill, Adams, Waddle, London, Brown, Samuel, and Godwin. Should I trade away to improve RB depth? I don't think you need to, because here's the thing, right? If you have Hill, Adams, Waddle, London. Can you start 3 starting wide receivers in your league and 1 flex? If you can, leave it as such. You're good to go. If you cannot, then at that point, I would say yes. You should probably be looking to either move London or Waddle alongside of one of those running backs to make a huge upgrade at your running back position there. Pyro, thanks for the question, my man. Okay, where are we at? Thank you, Arbot. Appreciate it. Stream is a little bit delayed. Yeah, it is a little delayed. That's just... Am I out of focus? Hello? My camera is starting to bug on me a little bit here, huh? Okay, here we go. Yeah, no, it's starting to... Can we just focus on me, please? Please? All right, we have to move this out the screen because this camera does not want to focus. Camera, hello. Right here. Yeah, there you are. Goodness gracious. I was about to say, like, you're starting to... Camera's starting to tweak a little bit here. All right. Apologies. Yeah, so stream is delayed. I think it's typically like 15 seconds or something of that nature. Yeah, typically. Mainly because YouTube runs ads. YouTube has a little bit of a delay port just because, I don't know. That's just how it is. Okay. Getting back to some of these questions. Do you think that Darnold fear for JJ is overblown? Yes, I do. JJ proved last season with lesser quarterbacks than Sam Darnold that he can still be fantasy relevant. I have no concern with it. I think JJ, in my mind, Justin Jefferson, not JJ McCarthy. Justin Jefferson is more valuable now that we have a more veteran quarterback. 100% established. We're not going to change any. Like, now Sam Darnold gets to get all of the first team reps for the remainder of training camp. That is going to be so valuable for the value of the receivers on that offense because they're now going to have even more time to build a rapport. Okay, so of the available options that we have here, you know what I want to do? If I go to drafts and I go to active and I go to this and I go here, go to the draft. Okay, so what do we have available for Andrew? Pretty good looking stuff here. I think we're gonna have to wait and see how it kind of deploys. Yeah, look, that's disgusting. I wanted Saquon there because boy, would that have been an incredible start, huh? Goodness gracious. Considering I cannot have Saquon and considering the available other running backs are as such, what do we have here? We have Etienne or Henry, or I theoretically can take one of these guys. I'm fine with Henry. That's fine by me. I don't have an issue with that. We'll address it, alternative positions elsewhere. I think the guys to the left of me would have taken Henry if I didn't address that at that point. And then that would have left me with a little bit less of a incentive to go running back. Okay, what do we have here? Joseph says, appreciate you helping out the last 2 seasons. Can't get Underdog. Where can I find overall player rankings? So the only other place would be via Patreon. There's a link down in the description. So if you head over to the website, the first thing that it should show you is the available tiers. So the 2024 Fantasy Champ tier is the kind of go-to at the moment in terms of that is going to get you all the primary content. Anything less than that is not an actual tier. They're just like kind of either retired or like thanks for the help kind of tier. So 2024 Fantasy Champion tier, you can check out what's kind of involved with it and what you get in exchange. If that's something that interests you and you want to support and pledge via Patreon, you can go ahead and do so. And then you can get the rankings, all that kind of jazz. You can ask me unlimited questions, all of the above. The Cooper Cup really just go this early? I mean, I love Cooper Cup, don't get me wrong, but my gosh, what are we doing, guys? Olave. I mean, do I just not take ETN or thing here? Like, I get it. Wide receiver goes, but I'm sorry. Just give me my ETN. Let me just stack my running backs. I really don't care. I'll grab wide receiver later. I already have Lamb. He's just going to kind of run the ship for me. Okay, getting back to the questions. Would you mind searching up my question, Trevor? Yeah, absolutely. Let me get to it. Trevor says, I traded Keenan Allen for Aaron Jones. Only running backs on my team were Jameer, James Conner, and Zeke. That's fine. I actually think you won the trade, to be totally honest. Getting Aaron Jones for Keenan Allen, I think, is a deal. Huff and Puff says, hey, Andrew, what's up, man? You know what's funny? Huff and Puff is a slot machine in Vegas, and boy, does that thing eat. Let's see here. Blake says, what's good, bro? At the 1.01 full PPR, should I take McCaffrey or Lamb? I take McCaffrey. 10-team half PPR, 3 wide receiver league, says Samuel. Would it be crazy to draft CeeDee Lamb at 1.01? No, it's not crazy. But would I do it? No, but it's not crazy. Yo, Andrew, if you had to pick between one, who would you pick between London and Waddle? I prefer London this season. The issue with Waddle is the fear that he's not going to be as target. He's not going to be as target friendly within that offense, mainly because we already know that Tyreek Hill's going to get his 10 targets plus per game, 12 targets. Jonnu Smith was just brought into this offense. They brought in Odell Beckham as well. There are other weapons that they're starting to now utilize. I do think that this season, okay, so hear me out. Just there's no analytics to back this up except for just kind of experience of watching how this has kind of transpired. We have seen 2022 Miami Dolphins, okay? In 2022, Their running game was non-existent. Then Mike McDaniel, a former run game coordinator of the 49ers, brought in the running game into the fold and really developed the running game. So they brought their 2022 passing game into 2023, and then they developed their running game. Beautiful. Fantastic. Everybody's relevant. Now I think the next step for Mike McDaniel is having a relevant tight end, just like he had with Kittle back in San Francisco. So I think Jonnu Smith is brought in to do that. So we'll have to wait and see how good Jonnu Smith is this season. But, I think there's a chance. There's a chance. Jonathan Taylor, Devontae Adams, Travis Kelce. I have no problem with that. That's a pretty good start right next to my ear. Let's see. Andrew, Saquon versus Jonathan Taylor, half PPR. I'd rather have Jonathan Taylor. I'm drafting 6th this Sunday night. Do I go heavy RB, then wide receiver after in a 10-team full PPR league? No. In a full PPR league, you should probably never go heavy RB. Very seldom should you do that. The only reason I have double RB in my first in the first 3 rounds of this draft in specific is because in a half PPR, if you're going to give me 2 of my top 10 ranked running backs in the first 3 picks, I don't think I can potentially pass up on that. Like, I understand wide receiver is going to be addressed, but also when you get into rounds 3 and 4, tight ends, quarterbacks start to go. It leaves a little bit more room for me to potentially be able to grab a wide receiver or a potential tight end in that 4th that can just balance out my roster accordingly. Can't see the 12th pick. The issue is you're never going to. I apologize in advance. My big ass head has to sit here. Let's see here. Do you like the Cup pick? Ray, I think you're a psychopath. But, hey, listen, brother. To each their own. To each their own. Jersey style, says, I'm not taking London. I'm not on the London train. I just don't see it. Appreciate the opinion. Yeah, no problem. Go for Waddle, man. I have no problem with it at all. The only reason I like London as much as I do is just because of the correlation of what we have seen Kirk Cousins' offenses kind of transition into, and what we have seen, former coordinators of a Rams offense develop into. And I think Zach Robinson with Kirk Cousins is just like the perfect scenario for any wide receiver to have, a jump in production. Now, yes, we're jumping a guy that was the number 35, 38 wide receiver the last 2 years into the conversation of being a top 10 player, but I'm willing to go down that road. Okay. That's not bad. Okay, we have McBride still available here on the turn. Anthony Richardson as well. I think Richardson's a little too early in this scenario. I think McBride is just about right. What pick are we at here? I probably go McBride. Yeah, we'll take McBride. I think the wide receivers that are available are good, but I'm happy with a couple of the names there. I don't feel that I need to take one of those guys. And there goes Richardson. Every time I say a pick, Ray is just on that shit like white on rice. Thank you, Ray. AJ says, also meant to add, I really like Hall, but hate the Jets, so ideas. I can't help you with that, bro. That's a therapist's job. I don't know if I can convince you to stop hating the Jets. I don't know. Do you love winning more than you hate the Jets? I think that's what you have to ask yourself. Let's see here. Hi, Andrew. Can you search my question? Yeah, absolutely. I'll get up to it right now. Let me just go ahead and make my next pick, and then I'll jump into that conversation. So of the available wide receivers, I'm probably pretty comfortable. Yeah, I know what I'm doing. I'm just not going to say it out loud because I'm about to get sniped on it for the 4th round in a row. Come on, let's go. Kyle Pitts, very interesting. Very interesting. Yeah, I'll take my Amari Cooper. Thank you very much. All right, keep it moving. Let's see here. I needed to look up the question from Bay. Let's see, Bay. Nico Collins at the 20th pick, a reach in a half PPR, 20th pick. So we're going 12 down, 8 back. Yeah, I think it's a reach. I personally think it is. It's not to say that it's, yeah, I'd be careful about that. I think that's a little bit of a reach. Me and the team next to me pretty much built kind of similar. Top tier wide receiver. He didn't want to go with another running back in this scenario. Well, I guess he didn't want Pacheco specifically, but 2 good running backs, 2 good wide receivers, kind of an elite tight end. I guess it's just a matter of what he does on quarterback next, considering 3-6 quarterbacks have been taken. By the time we get to the 6/7th, the fact that Ray already took a quarterback here, I would assume that whoever this is at 1.01 will take a quarterback in this range. So I'll probably have to address my quarterback here if at the very latest. Otherwise, yeah, I might get cooked. So we'll just have to kind of wait and see how it transpires. After the draft is finished, could you go through the draft board? Yeah, we can do that, Massimo. That's fine. Donald Smith says, Alien Romulus made me have 743 scaregasms. It's a good movie. It's a good movie compared to what? Like, Donald, have you seen Prometheus? Is it better than Prometheus? That's the question. Raider Alex, what's up, man? Says, I'm in a 6-man league, full PPR. Pick 5 and 7. Pick 5 and 7. I was thinking of going wide receiver back-to-back in the first 2 rounds. What do you think? I have no problem with that at all. You should. So, like, at pick 5, you get, like, maybe Amon-Ra. Pick 7, you get Jefferson. I think that's a great start there, Raider Alex. Sheesh, I was surprised I got Zay Lamar stack. Are you right next to me? Is that you, Franklin? That's you. Hey, my man. I mean, are you surprised? I mean, look, Lamar in that round is fine. I think Zay Flowers is also, I mean, I don't think this is a problem. Yeah, I think you got a pretty solid team. Or you're a couple spots next to me. You're going to need to now address running back for sure. But yeah, let's see. What's available at running back that you could theoretically grab? Kenneth, dude, this is what look, here's the thing. I get it. I get this. I understand it. But if this 65th pick is not Kenneth Walker right now, then thank you, Kenneth Walker. Well, sorry, Chris T. You kind of got screwed over because Kenneth Walker just went before you because David Ramos had to. Kenneth Walker's far too valuable. David, that's a pretty good looking team as well. I don't mind that. I do not mind it at all. Okay, scrolling down. Does Aaron Jones' value go up with JJ McCarthy out? I don't think technically I don't think it sways one way or the other. Do you prefer London over Olave? Yeah, I do. All right, so let's figure out what I need to pick here. I need to address wide receiver and or flex and or quarterback. So of the available options, have pretty good. Yeah, we actually have pretty good options. I didn't think it would be as plentiful by the time it got back to me. Mostert going. Joe Burrow's gone. Kyler's gone. What are the best available quarterbacks in this scenario? Yeah, that's fine. I think I know what I can do here. So theoretically, considering the board consists of 8 quarterbacks taken, if I let these rounds kind of pass by me and I don't address the potential of quarterback, I think it probably bites me in the ass. It's just a matter of, do I want to address it now or after these next 2 picks? I think I take George Pickens here. I assume that Ayuk is not being traded, and I just cash in on that. And because Ray already has a quarterback, he's not double dipping. If he double dips, he's banned. And I can get at least one of the 2 guys that I want a quarterback probably in the 7th, even though that might be a little bit too early for my blood on one of those guys. I think I can still get away with it perfectly fine. Okay, where are we at here? Let's see some of these questions. Nathan, thanks, man. Appreciate it. There goes the Jordan Love that I thought I would potentially have a chance to getting, but I'd rather just have Pickens. That's fine. Okay, so David Ramos says, thank you, no problem. Prometheus was amazing. Yeah, listen, I think Prometheus is one of my dad's favorite movies of all time. Like, this guy loves that movie. I don't know if I can objectively agree with these sentiments, but you know, do I take Jaden Daniels or no? I don't really want to. I kind of just want to keep stacking players. I kind of want to get my flex player here. Probably one of the following of the available. I think I'd rather just have James Conner here as my flex. Yeah, let's just take James. That's fine by me. A little bit of an older back, but I need a flex. I already have my 3 wide receivers. I don't really want to have. I mean, look, in a best ball format, it's probably smarter to just go wide receiver, but I'm drafting like it's a normal league where I have to actually make decisions on my lineup every week. Okay, getting back to questions. Which wide receiver would you target on Green Bay? Jaden Reed. Jaden Reed or Christian. Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, followed by Romeo Doubs in that order. That being said, I think they're all great. Let's see here. World of Entertainment says, does Breece Hall value go up with the injury to Gibbs? No. Would you take him over Amon-Ra St. Brown? I would take him over Amon-Ra St. Brown only in would I take him over Amon-Ra St. Brown in a full PPR? That is a question. Let's go full PPR rankings. No, I wouldn't even take him. No. So in this scenario, Breece Hall is only over Amon-Ra in a half PPR. Full PPR, I'd rather have St. Brown. Thank you. Do you think the Falcons defense is good to pick up? They've been making some movements. I've got to update my rankings. Prior to the last two moves of, obviously trading for, what's his name? Goodness gracious, why am I forgetting the name of the defensive end for New England? Doesn't matter. And then they get Simmons, the safety. Those are some pretty good moves, especially considering, Raheem Morris is their defensive coordinator / head coach now. Pretty good. There goes Jaden Daniels. So my quarterback, ventures is a little bit gone, past me, but it's okay. I invested in an early tight end. That is the sacrifice I must make. Prometheus was trash, in my opinion, says Donald. So if I didn't like Prometheus, you're saying that this Alien Romulus movie is that much better. Is this just a horror movie? That's just all it is, right? It's just horror. People are just getting aliens spit out of their chest the whole time. Quaid says, check my question. First year doing 2 QB draft. Oh, Quaid. I love to hear it, man. That's the best kind of league. Okay, Quaid says in an 8-man, 2-quarterback league, 6 point per passing touchdown, would you prioritize drafting skill positions in the first few rounds rather than quarterbacks? Or even with 8 people, would you still prioritize? I would still prioritize quarterbacks in that format, primarily because in a 6 point per passing touchdown format, guys like Josh Allen, guys like Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes are going to score 500 fantasy points. They're going to score 100 extra fantasy points than they normally would in a 4 point per passing touchdown format. So due to that fact entirely, did I just draft, which just happened? Montgomery was there. Okay, good. I was about to say, did I draft James Conner ahead of Montgomery? I almost cried myself to sleep. Anyway, so yes, I would still prioritize quarterback regardless of the fact that it is an 8-man league. So your first pick should be a quarterback. Then you can spend the next 2 picks on skill positions, then jump back into quarterback by at least the 4th round, at very least. Now, if your league completely disrespects the quarterback position and they let you get Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts or Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, do it. Because 6 point per passing touchdown league is that different. Should I sell Montgomery? What are you going to sell him for? Because theoretically, okay, let's just put this out into perspective. If you can sell him for a top 10 back, I'm fine with it. But if in fact, if you can sell him for a top 10 back right now, you should. Like if you can theoretically flip Montgomery for Derrick Henry, like why not? Like let's try it. By the way, this team on the very right-hand side of the screen, I like the way you've built it. Bowers this late, still able to kind of get a late round tight end that is going to be a tight end 1. Your 3 running backs are honestly solid. I know Achane obviously has got the inherent risk behind him, but really I don't see it that being that risky. Swift and Montgomery are 2 great options. Your 3 wide receivers are solid. You got the stack of Jalen Hurts and Smith. Yeah, that's a. I do not mind that team at all. Good looking stuff there. But what am I going to do? Am I going to get another wide receiver here? Most likely, if I had to guess. Considering wide receiver is thin on Franklin's team, he probably takes wide receiver here. Unless he's looking for his third running back, which probably would serve him decently well. Let's see here. What's the hype with Green Bay this year? I mean, just see what. Did you watch the back end of last year? They were on a roll. That team is like finally found their stride, and Jordan Love is a legit QB. Like, no questions about it anymore. Should I go to the Huff and Puff machine at the casino? No, you shouldn't. That's how you lose money real quick, brother. Robert says, "Hey Andrew, in a 6 point per passing touchdown change where you would draft a quarterback, yeah, quarterbacks go in the first round, or at least in the first round. Hollywood Brown taken, he's injured, not really worried about that. I do like the potential. Okay, so first of all, I don't need to take quarterback. I need to take a wide receiver here, specifically in the form of." Yeah, I'd rather have Brian Thomas than Lad McConkey. That's going to be the flip of the coin as we go forward. Is it Lad McConkey or is it Brian Thomas at that like 40-ish range at wide receiver? We'll see. We will have to see. But I'll take Brian Thomas for now. My draft already happened on Sunday. At the 101, I had Hill along with Gibbs, Kyron falling to me. Oh my God. Well, Clint, congratulations. Should be a good year for you, my man. Let's see here. Hi Sven says Garrett Wilson or St. Brown. I'd rather have St. Brown. ETN over Jacobs, yes. I've changed my mind on that mainly because of Jacobs' injury history. KCD says, if I take an elite wide receiver at 8 and Gibbs falls to me at 17, do I take him with? Yes, I would still take him. I take Gibbs there over the alternative backs that would be available theoretically. Assuming those backs don't consist of Taylor and or Barkley, yes. Zach Moss and Chase Brown. I like the stack. That's pretty funny. All right. Well, I guess I'm taking Dak Prescott here. Well, who doesn't have a quarterback in this league? 1, 2, 3. Wait, everybody has a quarterback except for me and one other person? Oh, then I'll just wait. What the heck do I need a quarter? I'd rather, yeah, okay, let's just wait. Forget that. I can get Lad McConkey or Tony Pollard. Do I just risk it with the running back? In a regular league, I'd rather have 4 solid running backs that at least I can rely upon in case somebody gets hurt, aka James Conner. Do you mind searching my question up? Yeah, that's fine, AJ. Let me just give me a second to use the. I'm using the search function on the wrong. AJ, where you at, my man? All right, let's see. Where's your question, AJ? Hey, Andrew, I'm drafting my first 10-team PPR. I know my guys will be aggressive and get quarterbacks and tight ends to flesh out positions. I'm aiming for Ferguson and praying for Love that he. Yeah, that's fine by me. Look, there's a reason why in this league specifically I haven't drafted a quarterback. I do not care to, because I can live with the decisions of the depth that I'm trying to build in comparison to the quarterback that I will get in exchange, which I honestly think I'm going to still end up with a decent quarterback here. So, yeah, as of right now, I have no problem with that kind of approach, AJ. Spears over Pollard? No. I prefer Pollard. I think between the two of them in specific, Pollard is the more talented running back. And I don't like if they had the utmost confidence that Spears could be the number 1 in this backfield, then I don't think they would have brought in competition of the caliber of Pollard. Like Pollard, even in the preseason game that they just played last week with the number 1s, and whether it was either checkdowns or just plain rushing attempts, was getting more utilization in comparison. Yes, Spears scored a touchdown, but that's going to happen when you have, two backs within the same backfield kind of vying for touches overall. Hey, okay, what does this say? Will you still take Gibbs at 1.12 in a full PPR? Look, guys, there's a lot of time between now and the first game of the season, or specifically for the Lions, the first game of the season, which is going to be scheduled for Sunday Night Football on September 8th. So we literally have 1, 2, 3 weeks. So that's 21 days plus 3. We have 24 days until the kickoff of where the Rams take on the Detroit Lions. I would assume that there is an ample volume of time for him to recover because he's a younger back. Then additionally, still practice and be ready by the first week. So would I take him at 1.12? Depends on what else is available. But yeah, again, I'm not afraid of taking Gibbs right now. Not afraid of it. Okay, let's see here. Any defensive rankings? Trying to decide between the following options off the waivers: Houston, Las Vegas, Atlanta. Yeah, so as of right now, my defensive rankings are as such for those 3 teams. I have Houston number 1, Las Vegas number 2, and Atlanta 3. Houston's my highest ranked as of right now between those 3. Thank you. Scroll down the draft, yeah. Does that work? Maybe further. Maybe like right there. All right, look, this right here, this just doesn't make it fun. Why are we taking a second quarterback in the 10th round? Like, I get it. You're trying to take my money. But now I can't even get the Brock Purdy that I was guaranteed to have because you want to have 2 quarterbacks. And this guy that took Josh Allen, David, you took Josh Allen and you took Dak Prescott. Brother, you're trolling me. Okay, all right, guys. I see how it is. David, we've known each other for a while. That's just bad manners. That's just bad manners. I know it is. It's bad manners. Disgusting behavior. I can't even believe what we're doing now. Goodness gracious almighty. Let's see here. Andrew just wanted to say thank you, man. Appreciate it. Thank you. Clint B says, I like Goff / JMO stack. Yeah, that's not a bad stack. Leighton. Yeah, it's not even remotely bad, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. I guess I'm taking Trevor Lawrence because now I have to hide my board before you guys yoink the players I want, huh? Let's see here. I knew it was going to happen. Yeah, somebody had to do it. Somebody just had to. I mean, come on. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. Let's see here. Seahawks matchup. Okay, cool. So what we're going to do really quickly. How many of us are in this live chat? I don't even know how many people are watching. Why is YouTube doing this to me? 313 current? Okay, cool. Concurrent. What are we at? Okay, so I know what I'm doing next. Can this league hurry up and let me draft? Thank you. I want... Who do I want? Yeah, I'll take that. Thank you very much. I'll just stack those running backs up a little bit. Okay, really quickly. What I wanted to do, somebody was asking earlier. Somebody wanted to do a sleeper draft. I think I can oblige. Let me see what I can do here. Half PPR, 12 teams. Draft timer 60 seconds. Auto pick. Okay, here we go. Give me a second, everybody. Yep. Okay, beautiful. Okay. Update that. Done. Okay, so what I'm going to do now I'm going to move that up here. I don't know how that's even going to look on my screen. Let's try something, shall we? If I wanted to invite somebody, copy link to invite. Beautiful. Now, if I wanted to swap screens just to oblige a potential sleeper draft, oof, it doesn't even fit. Yeah, that's a next time thing. Okay, that's a next time thing. Next time I'm streaming, I will have the available page so that we can do a sleeper draft, okay? But for now, we'll just leave it at that. Okay, let me answer some more questions. Let's see what we have here in the chat. What's up, Blitz? How you doing? Blitz says, greetings and salutations. Is my favorite thing to hear. Glad to hear it. Jose D says, I'm at the 1.08. Would you take JJ or AJ Brown? I'd rather take Justin Jefferson there. Tony Lopez says, hey, Andrew, need your advice on how to draft the first 2 rounds in a superflex at the 11th pick. First 2 rounds of a superflex. You know, actually what I kind of want to do, I kind of want to draft a superflex. You know, okay. Give me a second, everybody. Everybody stay calm. We're going to figure something out here. How am I going to do this? How can I okay, so I'm going to try some things here, guys. I almost want to do a super flex draft with you guys. Now that everyone keeps mentioning it, like if I copy this and then I duplicate it and I paste it into here. Okay, that's not what I wanted. I want this. If I copy this and I paste it, yes, we are, aha, okay. Everybody stay calm. We're going to figure this out. Okay. Bring the parameters down a little bit. Okay, wait a minute. Everybody stay calm. Then we need to theoretically, where the heck is this thing? We need to move this thing down, okay, to sit behind me. And still it doesn't fit. Oh my gosh. Okay. Look, this is the thing. This is too big of a draft board. 12 teams? My gosh. We're cooked here. We almost have to remove the banner. And then subsequently outside of that, holy moly. Yeah, it doesn't fit. Let's just put it that way. Unfortunately, I kind of want to do it, but it does not want to function. I'm going to have to spend 30 minutes figuring out how I want to function that. So I do appreciate your guys' patience. I do appreciate you guys coming along today. For those of you who have, of course, continued to support with your viewership, commenting in the live chat, greatly appreciated. Clicking the like button, much appreciated. Okay, answering more questions because, of course, that was a miserable fail. Isaiah Pacheco, a reach at 1.12 or 2.01 on the turn? Yes, I think it is. Unless Isaiah Pacheco literally finishes as the top 5 back, he is too early of a selection at those 2 spots. Jay Scott says, why are Garrett Wilson and London's ADP so high when their quarterbacks are coming off of devastating injuries? The thing is, the quarterback position doesn't have as much of a negative effect on an Achilles injury as someone such as, J.K. Dobbins coming off the Achilles, or somebody else that's a running back or a receiver coming off an Achilles. The severity of the injury isn't as impactful on a quarterback in comparison, especially quarterbacks who are not mobile quarterbacks. They're just in the pocket and they're never going to be running out for 40-yard runs down the sideline. Sean says, at the 1.04 spot, if I take elite wide receiver 1, on the way back, would you take another wide receiver first, then running back or spin back or vice versa? The 1.04, if you take an elite wide receiver, so theoretically, okay, let's say, for example, 1.04, the best available player is Jamar Chase or Amon-Ra. Let's say we take Jamar Chase. On the way back, would you take another wide receiver? So on the way back, let's say it's the second round, the best available player is theoretically Waddle or Drake London. Okay, let's say we take Drake London there. And then on the third round spin back, you take someone like Isaiah Pacheco or Travis Etienne. I have no problem with that. Double wide receiver into a running back has, again, very much so works. Assuming, of course, your league respects the value of wide receiver and aren't like head over heels drafting running backs like in the first round, if the first 8 selections are running backs, you're gonna get burnt really quickly with that approach, But then again, you can always find value later down the line. AJ says, I'm also finding when I draft first, Pacheco Pacheco always is going to fall. You said before heavy RB is not the move. Not in a full PPR, but thoughts on Hall as my first pick, then Checo. I don't have a problem with it. Again, it just depends on how often these wide receivers are being scooped up within your league. That's the biggest issue, typically. Especially in a full PPR, like Pacheco, certainly capable of catching the ball 60 times this year, but it needs to be like a guarantee that he does that for him to be like that second round pick. Do the Superflex? I'll join as well. Yeah, I want to, but okay, you know what I'll do? Aha. I have a brilliant idea. Everybody stay calm. I have a brilliant idea. If I go, okay, wait a minute. Hold up. Let me cook. Wait a minute. So if I take this and I copy this, I lock that, then I go back to the live stream and then I bring it here and I paste it in. Wait a minute. Paste it in here. Aha. And then maybe we just dump it down here. Does that work? Everybody? Yeah, maybe. Okay, let's copy the link. Actually, draft settings. Half PPR, 12 teams, 60-sec pick timer. Save that. Roster, 2 quarterback league. 1 flex, 3 wide receivers. Update, done. I am going to pick at pick 8. I'll take pick 8. And then I will copy the link and I will put it in the chat. And then you guys can help me draft there. Yeah, we can do that. All right, let's do this, shall we? This is the only time we're doing this. I'm going to make this even smaller, in fact. Okay? So we're all on the same page. This is a rare occasion. Okay? Very rare occasion. I'm picking 8 because I don't know, I like 8. Nobody wants the number 1 spot? Who? Nobody? Shoot, I'll take it. I'll go build a monster team at number 1 if you guys let me do it. What's up, Rock? How's it going, my man? Cup or Diggs? Ooh, that one I got to think about. I think I'm slowly getting to the point to where I want Cup more, but that's tough. That is... I might just take Cup in that scenario. I feel like Marvin Harrison Jr. is getting overrated. I think it's just the... is this full? Yeah, it's full. Okay, very well. So I'm going to go ahead and delete this link so that we don't need to remove that. Okay. Here we go. I'm going to start the draft right now. Go for it, guys. The thing about Marvin Harrison is that the potential which he has in comparison to other wide receivers, especially of his age, the skill that he's demonstrated is pretty apparent that he can make an immediate impact. Like the other wide receivers that we have seen come out of college and be beasts right out the gate are like Jamar Chase's and Justin Jefferson's, and I think that's kind of the value at where he's kind of being sat at. By the way, this is a 2 quarterback league, so the fact that quarterback's not being taken, I'm literally cringing. I'm literally feeling ill. But hey, I will present to you the way at which I go about these drafts. I don't know if I could have put a 6-point per passing touchdown league, but that would have made it a little bit more impactful, perhaps. Okay, let me answer some questions here. With such value in round 2 and 3 for running back, would you take Amon-Ra or Chase over Breece Hall and Bijan at pick 5? I don't mind that. Especially in a full PPR, I think that's a solid approach. Okay, of course, I get left with... how do I draft on this thing? I don't even use this. I will take my Lamar and I will keep it moving. Thank you very much. Let's see here. But yeah, to where the heck is that question? Where's the question? Okay, we took care of that. Yeah, Marvin Harrison. Yeah, again, if we think that he's going to be one of those guys that immediately makes an impact in the league, then that's kind of what the value of him is based upon. I thought it was half PPR. It is half PPR, but it's 2 quarterbacks. There's a difference, right? I guess we'll show you guys what's going on here. Because I might just double up on quarterback considering everybody else didn't want to do it. Not all drafts are the same, especially redrafts. Yep, that's pretty true. Richardson Burrow. Look, that is a good start. I like that at the end of the first. Beginning of the second. Benjamin Anderson says, "Evening, Andrew. Shot in the dark. Thoughts on Taysom Hill this year? I've moved him up my rankings slowly as of late. I think I'm going to have him probably as a top 15 tight end this season in my rankings. Again, he's been top 12 each of the last 2 years at tight end. So, or technically, if you want to consider him to be a tight end." Brandon Copley says, "I'm planning on picking Marvin Harrison Jr. at number 13. Am I on the board? Let's see here. Select player, quarterback. I don't want any of these guys. It's not a problem. Jonathan Taylor's available. A.J. Brown's available. Garrett Wilson, Travis Kelce, Gibbs. Do I want to go? Is this a half PPR, right? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so we'll just take Taylor here. Okay, getting back to Brandon's question. Planning on picking Marvin Harrison Jr. at 13, second round, first pick. Full PPR with Brees as my keeper. Beautiful. Would love to hear your thoughts on that. I mean, I don't have an issue with it. It's just what's your, so if Brees is your first round keeper, you're taking Marvin Harrison in the second. That's great, especially considering the full PPR format. You have balance at one running back, one wide receiver. I think that's the proper approach. Assuming, of course, Marvin Harrison is the best available wide receiver, which you probably will be considering Garrett Wilson, A.J. Brown, those kind of guys that typically sit within his range can be, will be gone. What does it say? Christian McCaffrey at 1.01 in the Superflex. I've seen it before. It's not out of the realm of possibility. I don't think it is. Look, here's the thing. I don't think David, who jumped in here, thought it was going to be a 2 QB league because I see him in the live chat. He said 2 QB, damn, LOL. I think he thought it was going to be a regular draft, which is why, yeah, it's just a little bit different. Absolutely fleeced one of my redraft leagues, says Tim James, who says, I got Josh Allen, Christian McCaffrey, Josh Jacobs, Kenneth Walker, Kupp, Godwin, Dell, Keenan Allen, Kincaid. Yeah, that's a pretty good looking team in terms of that. Yeah, wow. Okay. It's just a matter of, yeah, honestly, it's a pretty good looking team. That's a pretty good looking team. I understand that you took a little bit of a discount on wide receiver, but considering everything else that you have surrounding it, it's pretty good. Definitely not an athlete. Says, can you search my question? Yeah, sure. Let me go ahead and look that up right now. Definitely not an athlete. Says, if Rodgers went down with an Achilles first week of the season, where would you rank Breece Hall and Wilson in a PPR? Who's their backup quarterback? It's Tyrod Taylor, right? So I would probably have Garrett Wilson outside of the top 24. Maybe he sits at 24. Maybe. But that's just, I'm just making it off the top of my head. And Breece Hall would probably sit at running back without Aaron Rodgers, probably running back like 10. I think he'll still be fine. Because he really is just the benefactor of the check down that makes him so valuable. And he also still has a elite offensive line. Here go the quarterbacks, huh? The run has begun. Look, this is what I'm looking for, guys. What the heck is going on here? Goff, Herbert, Tua, Lawrence. Okay, very interesting. Okay, scrolling down. Hopefully that was the question you were referring to. Definitely not an athlete. Let's see here. If I had a first round, what does it say? If you had first round, first pick, who would you choose? I'd play with McCaffrey on my team. Happily. Did Gibbs just go in the third? That's the beauty of super flex leagues or 2 QB leagues, guys. I love it. All right, Cousins here. Do I want a quarterback? Let's see. What's the best available quarterback? Stafford. Wow, Taysom is considered a quarterback on this? That's funny. Kyron's still available. Garrett Wilson is still available. I have to take a quarterback. I do. I have to. I do. No. Yeah, just give me Stafford. That's fine. That's fine. Whatever. Goodness gracious. That's why. Look, this is why I love. I mean, you guys can't see it because it's probably so small on your screen. let me just make it a little bit bigger so we are all on the same page. This is kind of how it's broken down. The volume of quarterbacks that have been taken are going to be like this, or should be like this in any 2 QB league. Should be. Right? Where the Reds are all these quarterbacks that are being snagged up. Typically, I would risk it, but I think everyone's pretty aware as to what the heck is going on here, and I'd just rather have Stafford than take the risk of anything that's associated afterward. Like, I could have waited and taken Geno in the 4th, but I just feel more confident with the potential at which I have at Stafford there. Does anyone know how to Yahoo automatic? Wait. Does anybody know if Yahoo automatically will change the recommendation when changing into a Superflex format? No, it won't. Timothy, it won't. So my home league is specifically a Superflex league, and it does not change the ADPs nor the rankings unless you manually change them on Yahoo. Okay, let's see here. Exempt is right here, this team right here. I don't think he got the memo. I don't think he understands what's going on. But respect. I guess his best quarterbacks will be whatever they end up being. We can't see the board. I know. It's intended so that you don't see the board. I apologize, but it is what it is. It is what it is. Olave, Brendan, Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, Evans. What do we want to do here? I feel like it's a little too early for those guys, but let it rip. Can't see the board. When is Thielen getting drafted in mocks? Question. Okay, listen. Hopefully, everyone who's in this draft, look, I get it. You can't. Now you really can't see the board. Okay, I get it. I apologize. Probably not a good idea. Should have just, waited till next week to do this kind of draft. Nonetheless, it is what it is. We're doing it. I'm going to answer a couple more questions. I'm going to bow out at 7 p.m. We've been here for the last 2 hours. I do appreciate all of you coming through, supporting the channel. I'll be back tomorrow, not with a live stream, but rather a video. So that'll be available for you guys to watch if you would like to, of course. Again, a couple reminders before we close out today, all this kind of jazz. If you guys want my rankings, there's 2 ways to do it going about it. Rankings/draft guide. You can either do the following here, right? Which is use the code, sign up, all that kind of jazz. If you've already done that in the past for myself or somebody else, or you're not eligible within the state you live in, Patreon's the next plan of action. You would go to Patreon. The 2024 Fantasy Champion tier is the primary one. So if in fact that is something that interests you, of course, check it out, pledge your support, and of course, gain all those primary benefits. Answering a couple more questions, then we're bouncing out of here. Okay, here we go. Hey, Andrew, thoughts on the Raiders rookie tight end? Okay, good one. Good one, Robert. Good one. Thielen's still in the league? Yes, he's still in the league. But I think I have him ranked like really low as well. It's going to be tough to see Thielen dominate, but you never know. Maybe Bryce Young elevates his game and continues to help Thielen. We'll see. In a league superflex with a tight end 1.5 boost, how much of that boost will matter? A tight end premium league, tight end should be like Laporta should go at the end of Laporta should be the 12th non-quarterback taken off the board. Clint B says, hidden gems coming back this year? Yes. Will you send new rankings out tomorrow? So yeah, after I end the stream, I'm going to go finish rankings so that I'll post it on Patreon and I will send it out to those of you who have signed up using code Andrew since August 1st. So expect an email, check your spam folder. Tomorrow morning, I'll probably send it out. By the time I'm done with the rankings, it'll probably be 3 a.m. So somewhere around there. Appreciate it. Thank you guys. All right, couple more questions here. Great stream. Also, I moved your video on tight ends. Really made great points. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. I have a trade offer. If you want to search the last comments. Okay, cool. Let's check it out really quickly. Would you trade Hill for Kelsey, Pacheco, and Achane? Yes. That's it. Answer is yes. I can also sub Achane for more Pickens or McLaurin. Nope. Give me Pacheco, Achane, and Kelsey. Thank you very much. That's no questions asked. I would make that trade. I don't know what's on your team, but I would still make it in a vacuum. Am I almost on the clock? Yes, sirree. Let's see. What do we want? Probably want a running back or a wide receiver here. Jalen Waddle's still available, but I kind of want to have another. Yeah, that's fine. Emerald, be careful. Be careful, Emerald. Be careful what you ask for. Andrew, who is the greatest player in fantasy history? I don't know if there's a single greatest player. The thing is, okay. When you ask questions like that, it'll get me going, right? Like I can actually I could talk about this for 30 minutes straight. Are we asking who the greatest single season performance is, or who over a extended period of time is the greatest fantasy performer? Because there is a conversation for Brady to be in that conversation. Like, even though Brady is the GOAT of football in general, the fact that he played 20 years in the NFL may also make him the greatest fantasy player of all time because of how good he was at fantasy throughout those years. So, like, I think it just depends on how you want to define it as to what the answers could be. Cam Akers sign anywhere? Question mark. Stud in LA. Had moments in Minnesota. Is he not still on the Minnesota Vikings? Vikings depth chart. Nope, he's not on the depth chart. So, yeah. Well, actually, hold up. Wait a minute. Let me check again. Maybe he's on the IR list. Reserves. Nope, he is not. He is not signed anywhere, and nor will he. When you tear your Achilles twice, I think that's where this, the career comes to a screeching halt, unfortunately, for him. Would double hero RB strategy work in a Yahoo draft? It just depends on who you're drafting against. Jukester says, just woke up from a nap. Well, I'm about to go take a nap now. I'm just kidding. I got to go fix rankings in a bit. So I'm going to be closing out the stream in about 7 minutes. Did you miss anything, Andrew? Did I miss anything? Did you miss anything? Couple technical difficulties here and there. Nothing crazy, though. Nothing crazy. I wanted Kenneth Walker, and he did not come back to me. That is fine. I will happily go ahead and invest in... I think I just want to keep taking wide receivers in this league. Who's the greatest fantasy football running back of all time? Priest Holmes. It's either Priest Holmes or Christian McCaffrey. But yeah, I think it's like Priest Holmes had 2 back-to-back years of the craziest performances of all time. Like it's, but if we're talking about like longevity, it could still be McCaffrey, to be honest. Okay, let's see here. Andrew, how comfortable are you with taking? This is from Craig. Taking CD at pick 3. I have PTSD with drafting Lev Bell years ago. How comfortable am I doing it? In a half PPR, I would just probably, if I'm sitting in a half PPR league and it goes Christian McCaffrey number 1, Tyreek Hill number 2, and I'm at 1.03, I'd probably just take Breece Hall. If by the time, if you're drafting this weekend and we don't know if CeeDee Lamb is going to, I would. I'd say F it. Also, what do you think about the Bears this upcoming season? Hoping I can see them in the playoffs this year. All right, Nori, here's my legitimate take on the Bears this year. The Bears defense is legit. They have an actual defense. They proved it late last season. That defense is going to continue to be good Coaching staff is the same. They brought in players. I think their defense is going to be solid. Their offense will be superior in comparison. I think their number on Vegas for like wins is like 8.5. I think they actually go over that. I think they're probably in the range of 9-win team, if not more. Maybe a 9-8 record is safe. If they can get a 10th win, that'd be pretty amazing. But I think they're going to be definitely a team that people are going to be upset seeing in the second half of the season. Johnny Coffee sent in a super chat. Thank you, Johnny. Johnny says, Andrew, love your stuff. Who do you like to target second and third round in a half PPR 12-man league if I got Bijan in the first? Okay, so if you got Bijan in the first, okay, if in fact we're in a scenario in which somehow, some way, Taylor, Barkley, Gibbs is in that second round as well, I wouldn't mind doubling up on running backs there. If they are not available, the best available wide receivers typically that in that second round, assuming Nakua and Marvin Harrison are gone, legitimately, I would like Drake London. If Ayuk does not stay with that team, Debo. If Ayuk does stay with the team, Ayuk, Evans. They're not the sexiest names, but they will get the job done. Andrew, do you have faith that CeeDee Lamb plays this year? Of course. He'll probably have a contract by next week. Let's see here. Charlene says, love Megatron. Megatron's pretty good. I don't know if he's the best fantasy player of all time. Look, I know for a fact that Josh Allen's the greatest fantasy quarterback of all time already. It's not even close. Just off of the last 4 years of numbers, right? It's just AB, Antonio Brown, is one of the best fantasy wide receivers of all time, based on how dominant he was, and he was consistently in that top conversation for so long. Okay, what is this? Okay, I need to make a draft selection. Running back, James Conner, Swift, Stevenson, Aaron Jones, or I go with a wide receiver, or I go with a tight end. I'd like a running back here, specifically in the form of, I'll take James Conner. That's not a problem. Sorry about that. Okay, a couple more minutes here and we're out. I'm going to try to answer all these questions. Lucas says, I have Garrett Wilson, but I'm worried that Aaron Rodgers being unhealthy or not as good as he used to be. What do you think? I wouldn't be concerned about it. Again, Aaron Rodgers almost came back and played last year. I think he'll be healthy going into this year. That's not a problem at all. Let's see here. Draft. Okay, rate my draft. I have Jonathan Taylor, A.J. Brown, Sam Laporta, Waddle, Higgins, Swift, and Mahomes. Pretty solid team. Again, the first 3 picks are, top 12 at each. Specifically, Taylor's top 5 running back, A.J. Brown's top 8 wide receiver, Laporta is either top 2 tight end. Waddle is a solid wide receiver 2. Higgins is a solid wide receiver 3, potentially wide receiver 2. Swift is in that RB2 conversation. Mahomes is the third best. That's a pretty solid team there. Okay, we took care of that. Okay, that's another thing. Okay. Serious question, Andrew. Algier a concern for Bijan owners? I don't think it should be. As it currently stands, Robert, I would venture to say all of the momentum that has surrounded Bijan based on what the coaching staff has said. I understand that recently they came out and said oh yeah, Algier is going to be a huge part of the offense. Those are the red herrings. Those are the BS things that we need to not really pay attention to. There's a reason why they say we want to use Bijan, or we're going to use Bijan as the Christian McCaffrey of our offense. Christian McCaffrey doesn't have an Algier behind him. He is going to be the 3-down guy. Yes, in the event of hey, he needs a breather because he just had an 80-yard run down the sideline. Algier might come in and steal a touchdown. It'll happen. But ultimately, no, I don't think it's a massive concern. If it was, it would have already, I would have already integrated that within my rankings by lowering his overall ranking within the running back position. Would you pick, who would you pick between Etienne and Kyron? Probably Kyron. Clarity in the Falcons' backfield. Algier is young and healthy. Carry split with Bijan. No, I'm not gonna. I will not subscribe to that thought process. If you would like to play it safe, then you can certainly play it safe. But yeah, I have no interest in contemplating that because I don't think it's an actual reality. I'm gonna actually do this. Wait, I made a mistake. Hold up. Remove. Sorry. Misclicked double. All right, moving on. All right, guys. Let's see here. Andrew, do you know how long Gibbs is going to be missing within the season? He shouldn't miss a single game. Will the Vikings get another quarterback? They could, but I don't think they want to. I think they'll be fine. Alpha says I disagree. Thank you, Alpha. I always see you in the comments. I always see you in the comments. Do you like taking Benson with Connor? Depends on if he falls to me. I don't like to overinvest in Benson. Benson did not look great in that preseason game. Looked like he was bracing for hits rather than delivering hits. It may take him a while to find his footing within the offense as a whole. Thoughts on Jake Ferguson? Yeah, I love him. I mean, he was, let's see, where's the stat for it? He was like top 5 in red zone targets last year. At the tight end position, that's like super valuable considering how valuable touchdowns are in general for tight ends. Let's see, where's Ferguson? Yeah, Ferguson was literally 5 in just red zone targets, 23 total last season. And only 5 receiving touchdowns within those opportunities. So the number should increase. Okay, guys. I appreciate y'all supporting the channel. I'm going to go ahead and bow out, get dinner, finish the rankings. I'll be back tomorrow with a video, probably drop at noon. And of course, continuing on. Thank you, everybody, for watching. We're going to go ahead and cue the double helix. And I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Wait, that's not it.